Mass shootings, far too common anyway. But what happens when one of them happens so close to home? Emotions, all of them. Fear, rage. You got sadness. You got resentment. You got grief. How do we get hope? How do we get to that point? It's a process. And Leigh Richardson from the Brain Performance Center in Dallas is with me. And I don't care who you are, Leigh. If you are a North Texan, you are feeling some measure of loss from this.
You hit the nail on the head when you said North Texans, because the DFW area has grown so much. I think of it as North Texas, and I think everybody in the North Texas area was impacted. It's different. It's not any less hurtful when it's somewhere else, but when it's right there in your yard, it's too personal. It affects you, and we get caught up in the negativity, and we get caught up in the grief. And what I think we really need to do is try to replace some of that resentment. I had a tremendous amount of resentment in my head, and I've tried to replace that with hope.
I appreciate that, and I definitely want to get to hope, and I want to do it as fast as possible. But I've become increasingly aware over my life that to just jump straight to sunshine and rainbows isn't always appropriate, right? We got to feel our feelings. Why are we feeling this? And there are a lot of different feelings that people are feeling today.
Well, we do need to feel our feelings, and we need to take a moment and have silence and reflect upon what we're feeling. I went from anger to mad to resenting to sad. I mean, in my little head, I was all over the place. And I told myself, slow down. What do you feel at the moment? And stay with it. And when I started to do that, then I started to work through each one of those feelings. Every day we have more positive thoughts in our head than negative. But the way the brain works, we hold on to the negative.
So as we heal, whether we were on the scene of this tragedy on Saturday or whether it's just something that we've been thinking about all weekend, as we heal, how do we go from those very real feelings that you mentioned, the grief, the sadness, the pain, the anger? How do we go from that to hope?
Well, I think we have to believe, and whether some people believe, they'll get strength. They'll get their personal strength from the Bible. Some people will get their personal strength from music. Music has always been kind of my affirmation. When I lost my office to the tornado, the song Don't Stop Believing, Journey, I played that song over and over and over in my head. And I found myself playing that song over and over and over in my head again this weekend, because we've got to focus on what we can control. And when we're caught up in that negative space, that's negative energy. That's producing no goodness at all. And I would rather be caught up in some positive space and think about, what can I do to change? What can I do to help the people that were impacted? What can I do if I know anybody that even goes to that mall on a regular basis? How can I reach out to them? How can I let them know that I'm thinking about them and that I care about them? That's good, positive energy. And that's what I want to try and send out there.
That is Leigh Richardson from the Brain Performance Center here at